Hello, I'm Luke Kneller and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. Roll out! We start off on Muravanka with our hero being Ronin 123. Their tank of choice is the British Centurion Action X, the top tier medium tank. And top tier is exactly what this match is all about, with Ronin being one of the 4 top tier tanks on the battlefield. Let's see how our Roman hero marches into carnage. Starting off with an aggressive middle push out in the open fields, it's risky, but the Reds seem to have their minds elsewhere, giving Ronin the opportunity to introduce themselves with some good supporting fire. With the middle now completely open, nothing is stopping our hero from pushing further and flanking the unsuspecting enemies in the camp. A Panther 2 attempts to counter the previous position but is 2 minutes too late. Easy prey for our sneaky Senti. And cresting over the hill surprises another 2 tanks. Until a 140 finally shows up to exact revenge for their fallen allies. One look at the minimap reveals that things aren't going as smoothly as one would hope. Having steamrolled the east side, the Reds now fully envelop the green team from all sides. But the cap pressure is paying off. As enemies try to push in, Ronin is allowed to roam around, making the most of it. In a great display of supporting fire and teamwork, Ronin clears both the north and the middle push, completely turning the tide of the battle in favour of green. Romanus and Domus! Wait, we're the Centurion. Never mind. All that's left is to mop up the few isolated tanks and win the game. GG. A really solid game by Ronin 123, roaming around the map, providing supporting fire at every possible opportunity. With 10,609 damage, 6 kills and 1,504 experience, this game deserves our Confederate of the Week award. Congratulations! Moving on to a game on the Siegfried line. Our hero in this game is Olo Bartolo in their first ever game in the British Tier 7 heavy tank, the Black Prince. This tank represents the pinnacle of Churchill tank evolution, featuring heavier armor and a faster firing gun. However, British doctrines at the time overlooked one tiny bit. That's right, speed. This one in particular has an engine that has the power that might feel more home in a Mini than a tank. Nonetheless, let's see how this royal badass will fare on these rolling hills. A lengthy duel with a tiger ends with a Deutsche Katze running for its life. Poor kitty. Unlike this Skoda, which probably should have saved a repair kit, this Czech tank should have checked itself. Yeah. Bartolo tries to avoid a 1v2 against a full HP IS by isolating the VK3001P in town. But suddenly an OI appears on the flank. Yikes! It bounces its heat shell. However, the downpour continues. Not to worry though, as our heavily armoured Black Prince shrugs off most of them with ease, like water off a duck's back. Quack quack, mother ducker! An aggressive enemy RT finds its way back to the garage the same moment the last green tank falls. It's going to be one tough piece of British engineering versus 4 Reds for the victory. Make that 1v3. Situational awareness was not this T-25-2's strong suit. Playing Ring Around the Rosie with a light tank in something as mobile as a boat is likely not the best of ideas. Unless that LT makes the massive mistake of, well, dying. Snap, and he's gone. Speaking of boats, here's the Tog 2! A fierce battleship duel ensues, with both vessels taking heavy damage before the mighty Tog retreats. A sneaky S-51 attempts to interfere, but its effort is in vain as Bartolo continues to pressure the cap in hopes of driving the opposing battleship out. There! Bearing 340, 100 meters! Battery 1, fire! The final salvo hits home and the target is sent to Davy Jones' locker, aka the garage. Victory! What a great game to watch. For a moment, I wasn't sure if we switched to World of Warships with these two slugging it out. Olo Bartolo put on quite a show in their first battle. The Black Prince proved more than a match for their opponents, dealing 6,716 damage, scoring 8 kills, blocking 4k damage, and finally, earning 2,234 base XP. For such courageous resistance, we award you our Steel Wall of the Week award. Congratulations! On to our third replay this episode, and it's the good old KV-5. The Soviet Super Heavy is still a formidable tank. Despite some obvious weak spots and lack of penetration, the heavy armor and high rates of fire more than make up for it. Oh, and of course, our hero, Silaka 34, plays on Insk as a dominant top tier, so this better be one heck of a replay. Advancing aggressively pays off by securing the first kill on this Skoda T40. Did the Skoda check itself? Again? Again with the same joke? Some nice brawling never hurt anybody. Well, I guess it did, but we can get the point. A well-placed tracking shot dispatches the IS, followed up by finishing off a dangerous Yaktiga 8.8. Add a Vortsik to that tally as well. A couple of well-timed high explosive shells and a ram to finish it off. This ISM just watched 3 of its buddy go down in the space of a minute. Shell-shocked? Maybe. Its desperate attempt to escape only ends up as 5th kill on Silaka's tally. Never mind, make that 7, with 2 low-tier RTs offering no resistance. Silaka is on fire! Like the rest of the team, just in a very different way. The other 14 greens have managed an impressive 2 kills between them, but losing every tank in the process. Alright, here's the plan. Rush them while they're all grouped up. Nobody expects a 1v4, right? Right? Alright. Well, this should not have worked, but it did, and that was awesome. Silaka turns the game around, now facing 3 lower tier tanks while still in good repair. Not easy, but definitely winnable. With the tables turned, our hero now chases down the AMD, only to find that Type 58 and take it out with a brilliant shot through the wall. No escape for you either. Another great shot, and the AMD bites the dust as well, making it the 12th kill, leaving just 1 enemy standing. A capture is probably the safest bet. But the thrill of making this a 13-kill game proves too much to resist, and Silaka goes hunting for Samati. You can run, but you can't hide, GW. 1 HE shell finishes off the last enemy and secures the win. GG. What an incredible game. Silaka 34's aggressive playstyle paid off, earning them a whole plethora of medals and an impressive 13 kills. Excellent. All that while dealing 4,972 damage, earning 1,926 base XP. Making Silaka's worthy of our Top Gun of the Week. Congratulations. Moving on to Mountain Pass, a common map in our show. Must be the fresh mountain air. The star of the moment is Old King's WDYM and their Chieftain Heavy Tank, a pinnacle of British tank design. The Chieftain features a superb gun, sloped armor, and even a slightly improved engine. Now that's something. The bridge? Unconventional? Risky? But I like it, if it works. This aggressive first move triggers a brawl, which is convincingly won thanks to friendly backup, allowing our hero to focus on the northern flank. serendipity? As the cork in the middle goes down, the situation overall looks bleak. The Allies have lost every other position on the map apart from a couple of base defenders. The high ground advantage proves valuable when engaging tanks on the north flank, and despite multiple attempts to dislodge our hero, Kings does not budge, holding position and obliterating anyone attempting to engage. Suddenly what looked bleak flips into the Greens' favour, with Kings doing the majority of the work with 9.7k damage on the tally. All that remains is to chase down the last couple of tanks and finish off the arty for good measure. That would be 9 kills, just one shy of Paul's medal. And with the UDES waiting patiently just across the ridge, that medal looks shinier than ever. No, stop! It runs away! Oh, only to be finished off by an ally. Oh, 1 kill shy. But never mind that, Old King's WDYM pulled off a fantastic carry, dealing 10k more damage than the next ally. In total, 11,445 damage done and 1,719 base experience definitely makes up for those 9 kills and only a Radley Walters medal. On top of that, our Crucial Contribution Award. Congratulations, Old Kings! And for the finale, we arrive on Cliff with our hero being no-hit Ashley Benson, and their tank of choice is the Chinese WZ-111-5A. The top-tier Chinese heavy sports a hard-hitting 130mm gun, thick sloped armor, but also good mobility for a heavy tank, making it very versatile. And with those 3 stars on the gun, no-hit Ashley Benson's name seems to be a good lucky charm. A quick look at the minimap reveals that the middle will be hotly contested, with the majority of the red team being there. An excellent opening position nets our hero over 3k damage despite being severely outnumbered. But just as the middle calms down, the Reds decide to push the weakly defended right flank. In an all-out charge, our hero obliterates both the 50 TP prototype and that pesky little scout. Turning the tables with a fantastic flanking maneuver. The trend of whichever flank I'm not on collapses seems to continue as the previously secure middle is now gone. Our hero is luckily dodging the carnage. Despite the numerical disadvantage, by holding better positions, the Greens managed to bring the game back. Quality over quantity. As the brawl continues, the enemies keep coming in from all angles, desperately trying to dislodge Ashley from the middle, even resorting to cap pressure. With 2 cappers, there's no time to waste, but the T-30 goes down and alerts the cappers they're under attack. A quick 1-2 takes care of the LT-432, but the Scorpion is nowhere to be seen. Relocating is the only option, but time is ticking and the Scorpion is still lurking in the shadows, waiting to sting. Is this a heartbreak? There! With no time left on the clock, Ashley pulls off a crucial shot, obliterating the Kappa with literally milliseconds to go, and finally securing the last kill of the game. In case you haven't been paying attention, that amounts to a whopping 14 kills. Amazing! I'm at a loss for words. This replay had it all. No hit, Ashley Benson reinforced every single position in crucial moments, held the line and defended the base. What else is there to say? 14 kills, 9,832 damage, 1,755 base XP, one of the rarest medals in the game, the Rassani's Heroes Medal, and now our Defender of the Week as well. Congratulations! And that's it for this episode of Best Replays of the Week. That sure was one hell of a replay to end on. But which was your favourite? Ronin 123, the Confederate of Muravanka? Olo Bartolo, the Steel Wall Battleship? Silaka 34 in the Soviet behemoth known as the KV-5, Old Kings WDYM with crucial plays to win the game on Mountain Pass, or No Hit Ashley Benson with that last second decap. Vote now! Last episode's winner, as voted by you, was Death Starty in their Churchill 3 with a carry of all carries. I'm Luke Kneller, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time!